Hello everybody. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Valk 3. So I had already given you a video with some of my first impressions of this puzzle, and so I wanted to take the chance to give you some of my final thoughts and my own review of the puzzle, what I personally think of the puzzle, what did I do to the puzzle, and how it performs compared to when I first got it out of the box. So just going with some of the first off things, some of the first things that we would see when looking at the puzzle, we can already see that the stickers have taken quite a beating. I've solved this probably a couple hundred times. I'm not exactly sure, maybe like 300 something, 400 something solves. And we can see that the red side has taken probably the most beating. The stickers are peeling quite a bit on the red side. Most of the other sides are pretty good. The blue side's taking a beating, and of course the white side's already peeling. And so this might be also according to your turning style, and so just keep that in mind when you purchase this puzzle, that as you solve it, these stickers are rather thin and they will come off. But I'm a big fan of the shades. The shades contrast each other very nicely. If I do get replacement stickers, I will probably be replacing it with this color scheme, because this color scheme that's on my 5x5 now, and then I have a similar color scheme on my 2x2 and 4x4. But I think this is going to be my new color scheme with that dark blue. I really like the dark blue. After some tensioning, it cuts your typical, it cuts. It just cuts now. It cuts whichever direction you want it to. If it doesn't cut one direction, it's going to cut the other way. So that's pretty standard for most puzzles coming out nowadays. And it should be expected from a puzzle with such a hype as the Valk 3. Now, when I did lubricate this, I put quite a bit of silk in this. I put some silk in, I played with it, I messed around with it, I worked it in, and then the puzzle got slower again, and so of course I added more. And so what I noticed is that you have to lubricate this quite a bit, because the lube in this puzzle dries out rather quickly. So you'll have to lubricate it a couple times before you get it just right. I did have some lubrical as well, and I put that on the core and a little bit on the inside, and now it's just really smooth, really fast, and it's got that kind of snappy feel that we've kind of seen in some of GE's other puzzles, like the Thunderclap. But I'm very impressed with how this puzzle has turned out. It's only gotten better as I've solved it more and more. People that come up to me in my club and on the street, they are all really impressed with this puzzle. It did take a little bit of getting used to, though. I will have to mention that, because it's a 55 millimeter, technically 55.5, but I mean it's just 0.5. Since it's 55 millimeters, of course, it takes some time to get used to if you're used to solving a 57 millimeter 3x3. And so I noticed that especially when doing M slices, because of course the pieces are smaller, I sometimes wasn't able to get the M slice quite right, where I'd like miss it one time. So I tried to do an M2 and I only end up doing an M1. So especially the M algorithms, like the H-perm, I would find I would mess it up. Especially I'm not sure what this one is called, but you can see, like, well, it happened on camera, so, oh well. But I tend to mess that one up on this puzzle, just because I'm still not quite used to the M slices and how small they are. But there we go. But yeah, I tend to mess up that one where it swaps adjacent edges, because I'm just not used to the size of the M slices. So if you're someone with bigger hands, like really big hands, this probably isn't the puzzle for you. Sorry. But this could be your puzzle for one-handed, because it is the right size and a good speed that you can control, depending on how you lubricate it, where it would be excellent for one-handed. And I'm not the best at one-handed. I average probably around a minute or so. But I did beat my record, and I got like a 36-second OH. But what else is there to say about this puzzle? Tensioning is easy, of course, because the caps can be easily removed, unlike the thunderclap, which is kind of a nice change that they made. The only thing that's hard about this puzzle is reassembling it. And the problem is the centers. When you take off the cap and you remove all the pieces, the center shrinks down, if that makes any sense. Just assembling this puzzle, it can be kind of a pain. It's really similar to the difficulty of assembling as, let's say, some of the earlier 2x2s and some of the 4x4s, where it's just kind of tedious and pieces fall out. So that is one thing. It does make lubricating the core a little bit easier, but it's all right. But I think that's everything that I have to say. So I'll go ahead and give you a couple of solves, and then I'll give you my last thoughts and recommendations. So it's been a few weeks since I've recorded this video, and I've had a lot more time to really play with the puzzle, do a lot more averages, lubricate it, and try and see what else I can do with it. And I can say that I'm still very impressed with how this puzzle has turned out. I'm really, it's my main for sure, because I've broken a lot of my personal bests. I've also broken all of my averages of 12s, averages of 50. It's overall a really good performing puzzle. I find that sometimes though, when I am using it, that I tend to go faster than I should. So if anything, I perform best on this when I slow down a bit. But that's just me. Some other things that I did notice that I forgot to mention in the video is this puzzle responds really well to heat. Just with the lubricants that I have been using in the puzzle, it tends to slow down quite a bit when it's in cold weather, like it is where I am. But if I'm walking around and it's a warm day and I have my puzzle, it performs beautifully. It performs amazing. And so something that I would maybe recommend to cubers is try and find a lubricant to add, not just Lubrical Silk, but maybe Lubrical Speedy or that D&M 37 that just came out recently. I definitely recommend either of those to help keeping your puzzles speedy in cold and hot weather. Also, on the side of corner twists are pretty much non-existent in this puzzle. I've had maybe one or two in a solve, and I can't even remember when the last one was because it was so long ago. But I wouldn't, if your tensions are right, I don't think you should have to worry about any corner twists on this puzzle. Some people have reported that their corner stocks have broken, but I haven't seen any signs of that in my own puzzle, so I don't think that's something that y'all should worry about too much unless you're like really aggressive with your puzzles. But we're just about done. Just comments on some of these scrambles. I average right around 16 seconds now, so I've sped up quite a bit recently, and most of that is in response to this puzzle. I really enjoy the smaller size, and I don't think I can go back to another puzzle. Now, as I'm wrapping up with the last time, we'll go ahead and finish up with my final thoughts. Alright guys, I couldn't be more happy with how this puzzle has turned out. Besides how the M slices, sometimes with my turning style, they tend to catch, but that's just me. If it weren't for that, this would be the perfect puzzle for me. So as of now, it is my main unless I find a puzzle that does respond better to my turning style. You can pick this up at thecubicle.us for $20, which is kind of on the higher end of prices on speed cubes nowadays. But if you're looking for a new high-class speed cube, a main speed cube, this is definitely the one that I would recommend. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you on my next video.